They say love is a chase. But what if the more you chase, the faster it runs from you? You keep trying, calling, proving your worth, hoping she'll see your heart. Yet, with every message, every effort, she pulls away a little more. You start to wonder, maybe love isn't about chasing at all. Maybe it's about standing still and letting what's meant for you come closer. Because when you stop chasing, something shifts. She starts to feel your silence, your calm, your absence. And that's when the story changes. In this video, you'll learn why detachment is not rejection, it's power. Why walking away sometimes makes her fall harder than you ever did. It begins innocently. You meet someone, you like her energy, her smile, her voice. You feel that spark, and you want her to feel it too. So, you start chasing. You text first. You double text when she doesn't respond. You rearrange your plans just to see her. But here's the painful truth most men learn too late. Chasing doesn't create attraction, it kills it. Every time you chase, you teach her something, that your world revolves around her approval, that her attention is your reward. And the moment she senses that, the balance shifts. What once felt exciting now feels predictable. What was once a mystery becomes routine. Women don't fall for the man who tries to prove his worth. They fall for the man who already knows it. You see, the chase creates a silent story in her mind. She begins to wonder, if he's always available, what's left to discover? Human nature craves what's scarce, not what's always reaching. The more you chase, the more invisible you become. Because chasing comes from a place of fear. Fear of losing her, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough. And fear is never attractive. He who controls himself is mightier than he who conquers a city. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics understood something most men forget. Real strength comes from restraint. The ability to want something deeply and still remain calm when it's not yours yet. When you chase, you hand over control. You stop being the calm center of your own life. You become reactive, waiting on messages, on moods, on signs that you're good enough. But attraction doesn't live in chaos. It lives in composure. She may not say it, but deep down, she feels it when you lose yourself trying to win her. The tension dies, the mystery fades, and her respect quietly slips away. That's the trap, believing that more effort means more love, when in reality, it often means more distance. The chase is not love. It's fear disguised as passion. And the moment you stop feeding it, you begin to regain your power. When you stop chasing, you stop losing yourself. There's a strange moment that happens when a man finally lets go. No more chasing, no more proving, no more begging for energy that isn't returned. At first, it feels like loss, like you're giving up. But slowly, you realize something deeper. You're not losing her, you're finding yourself. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's when you stop trying to control outcomes and start focusing on what you can actually command. Your mind, your peace, your direction. When you stop chasing, your energy changes. You no longer move from desperation, but from grounded confidence. That shift, that silence is magnetic. Suddenly, she starts to feel the void you once filled with constant attention. The calls are gone, the texts have stopped, the validation has disappeared. And in that silence, she begins to wonder, where did he go? Psychology calls this the principle of scarcity. When something becomes less available, its perceived value increases. It's not manipulation, it's human nature. What's always chasing is rarely respected. What steps back is often pursued. This is the essence of detachment. You don't punish her with silence. You simply return to your mission. You invest that same energy into your growth, your purpose, your discipline. That's when something incredible happens. Your presence becomes felt even in your absence. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus. When you embody detachment, you become free. Free from the emotional chains that once made you react to every text, every like, every mood. You become the calm in a world of noise. People feel it. Women feel it. The energy of a man who is whole, not needy. You begin to radiate something rare, self-sufficiency. And that's what draws her back, because she no longer sees you as the man begging for attention, but as the man who commands it without asking. She starts to question her own behavior. Did I take him for granted? And that's when attraction flips. She feels the weight of your distance, not because you played a game, but because you stopped chasing something that wasn't yours to begin with. And in that pause, she realizes the value of what she almost lost. That's the power of detachment. It changes not only how she sees you, but how you see yourself. You stop measuring your worth by someone's affection, and you start defining it through your discipline and peace. This isn't about revenge. It's about remembrance. Remembering who you were before you started trying so hard to be loved. Because when you detach, you don't lose your heart. You simply stop handing it to people who haven't earned it. The one who remains calm wins. There's a difference between detachment and indifference. Detachment is strength. Indifference is fear disguised as pride. The goal isn't to become emotionless. The goal is to feel everything without letting those feelings control you. You don't stop caring, you just stop clinging. You don't ignore her, you simply stop worshiping her. Because a man who's mastered his emotions doesn't need to run, chase, or prove. His silence already speaks. The first step to stopping the chase is self-awareness. Ask yourself, why am I chasing her? Is it love or is it fear? Most of the time, we chase not because she's the one, but because we're terrified of losing what she represents: validation, attention, comfort. When you face that truth, you regain control. You stop reacting and you start responding. That's what separates a man of chaos from a man of peace. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. Freedom starts when you can want someone and still choose yourself first. Second, redirect your energy. Every ounce of effort you spent chasing someone else's attention should be reinvested into your purpose. Train your body, build your craft, sharpen your mind, because when you're grounded in purpose, you no longer need external validation to feel alive. She'll sense that shift. The same silence that once made you anxious now makes you magnetic. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop chasing, you start attracting. Not by pretending not to care, but by genuinely being fulfilled on your own. When she realizes your peace doesn't depend on her, she starts to feel drawn to it. Because peace is rare. Confidence is rare. A man who doesn't beg for attention is a mystery she can't decode. But remember, stopping the chase doesn't mean closing your heart. You can still be kind, still listen, still care. You just don't chase what doesn't flow naturally. When you talk, let your words be measured. When you act, let it come from purpose, not panic. That calmness is what Stoics called apatheia. Not apathy, but disciplined peace. Women respect men who remain gentle yet strong. You don't have to play games. You just have to protect your energy. Because real power isn't in getting every woman to want you. It's in being unfazed when some don't. When you master the art of emotional balance, you become untouchable. You stop being ruled by the chase and start ruling your inner world. And that's the secret. You don't win by chasing her. You win by becoming the man she can't stop thinking about, because he's too focused living his truth to need her validation. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you stop chasing, something quiet but powerful happens. You stop sending the texts. You stop waiting for the calls. You stop forcing moments that are meant to be. And slowly, she starts to feel it. At first, she thinks you're just busy. Then she realizes you're calm. You're unbothered. You've changed. The same man who once needed her attention now moves with peace. And that peace begins to pull her in. Psychologists call it emotional equilibrium. It's when you stop reacting and start radiating. Your energy is no longer desperate. It's steady. You become the man who doesn't chase love. He attracts it naturally. You start focusing on your mission again. You wake up earlier, train harder, work smarter. You become too busy building your life to worry about someone else's validation. And that's when she notices the shift. Hey, it's been a while. How have you been? That's when she reaches out. Maybe not out of loneliness, but curiosity. She senses something different. Your peace, your distance, your quiet confidence. You don't rush to reply. You don't ignore her either. You respond with calm energy, no expectation, no attachment. And that balance is irresistible. You see, attraction isn't born from chasing. It's born from presence. When you stop seeking love as something to win, you start living as someone worth loving. The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. Marcus Aurelius. She begins to feel safe around your calm, drawn to your stillness. Because a man who can stand alone is a man who can truly love without losing himself. Let her come. Let her feel your silence. Let her witness your peace. Because when you stop chasing, you create the space for real connection to find you. And if she doesn't return, that's okay too. Because the man you become in the process, the man who's calm, focused, and grounded, is the real reward. When you let her come to you, you stop playing her game and start living your truth. When you finally stop chasing, you realize something profound. You were never supposed to run after love. You were supposed to become it. For the longest time, you believed effort could buy affection. You believed proving your loyalty would win her heart. But now you understand. The more you chase someone, the further you drift from yourself. And the truth is, the greatest relationships aren't built through pursuit, they're built through alignment. When your mind is calm, when your heart is grounded, when your soul is focused, you attract the right energy without chasing it. You become a magnet, not because you want her to see your worth, but because you already see it yourself. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. Zeno of Citium. That's what the Stoics knew. Control the self, and you control everything. Lose the self, and you lose everything. You don't need to chase anyone who walks away, because when someone truly values your energy, you'll never have to convince them to stay. The chase was never about love. It was about fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being chosen. Fear of not being enough. But when you stop chasing, that fear fades. It's replaced with calm certainty. The knowledge that what's meant for you will never need to be forced. You stop waking up checking your phone for messages that don't come. You stop performing for attention that doesn't matter. And for the first time, you breathe. You start to feel free again. Because detachment isn't the absence of love, it's the presence of peace. When she sees you now, she sees the calm. She sees the growth. She sees the man who stopped trying to be chosen and started choosing himself. And that's when attraction transforms into respect. But even if she doesn't come back, it doesn't matter. Because detachment doesn't guarantee her return, it guarantees your evolution. You grow, you rise, you level up in silence. You begin to understand that love isn't about possession, it's about presence. You no longer need to hold on tightly to prove it's real. You simply live, love, and let things flow as they're meant to. The Stoics taught that external things, people, wealth, reputation, come and go. What remains is your character, your discipline, your peace. So when you stop chasing, you're not giving up on love. You're giving up on self-abandonment. Because once you return home to yourself, you realize you never really lost her. You just lost the version of you who needed her to feel complete. And that's growth. That's power. That's peace. So, if you're watching this and you've been chasing someone who keeps slipping away, stop. Not because you've given up, but because you're ready to stand still and let what's real come to you. When you stop chasing, you allow space for peace. When you stop begging, you make room for respect. And when you stop running after love, you discover something extraordinary. That the love you were chasing out, there is always waiting within you. Peace is power. If this message resonated with you, take a breath. Reflect on where your energy goes. Because every time you choose calm over chaos, you become stronger. Every time you walk away from what doesn't align, you move closer to what does. Remember, she doesn't fall for you when you chase. She falls when you stop. When you stop running after her and start running toward your purpose. Because a man who chases love loses himself. But a man who finds peace makes love chase him. Stay grounded. Stay stoic. Stay powerful. If this message spoke to you, subscribe for more Stoic truths and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because calm men don't chase, they attract.